watching, listening to, participating in, enjoying the Loose Catchies podcast. This week, it's episode 10. 10 episodes, double digits, milestone. We're all about milestones. And this week, we thought we'd do something a bit different. We've been talking about a bit of stand-up comedy lately, and it's one of our favourite things. So we're going to talk about our favourite comedians, stand-up comedians, tell a few jokes, have a bit of a laugh before we get back to some of the serious stuff. So, Mark, did you see on the news that that guy that was streaking through the church in the centre of town? The police were chasing him around, but they finally caught him by the organ.
That's we set up some. That
sounded better in your head, before the show. I'm going to tell it just like that.
We were talking,
and all the wrong words came out.
We talked about some sound effects, and I'm terrible at doing the old tumbleweed through the village.
Why isn't there a pregnant Barbie doll? It's Ken. Ken comes in another box.
Right, for all your mums and dads out there, Simon's got them lined up.
Hey! Oh, look! I've even got the. Hold on a minute. I need to switch that to live, and then press play again. Whee!
That's
but,
it.
And just in case.
Boom.
Sound effects in that?
Yeah. Sound
effects.
Well, it's episode 10, isn't it? It's sort of looking. We decided to do something interesting because even a small milestone like 10 is quite big for us. Well, it is from my perspective because we're talking about an idea, starting it, and then getting to episode 10 is pretty great, and life is about those little milestones. So we'll start planning the next one after this.
And we're always talking about. We've probably mentioned it more than once in the last 9 episodes how you should stick to things. You plan these things out. You want to do them. You choose to do them. You don't have to do them. All of that. All of the words and wordage we've been talking about. We laid this out, decided we're going to do it. We've stuck to it. We're at number 10. And however many more. And I think we're enjoying it.
Yeah, we started off with an idea of doing something that was sort of fun with messages. And I think, looking back at last week's theme, which was regrets, we got maybe a lot of poignant messages across. And this week we just want to up the ante a little bit. I've got many antes, so I can up them. Hey, there's a lot of innuendos going on here. Me and my daughter were going through some of the potential material, and let's just say I believe comedy has no boundaries. But then we have to be sort of a little bit sensitive to the needs of we're quite new at this.
Yeah, well, I guess if we can go for a 15 rating.
Yeah, 15 months.
Yeah, it will be childish. It will be childish.
Yeah,
you can be sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If a couple of bits that I put down, how important is laughter to you? I know how important it is to me.
At one point, it was everything. It was absolutely everything. There was a time during my 20s. I was an absolute mess. You figure yourself out in your 20s, don't you?
Yeah.
And I realised that some of the things I did made people laugh. Some of the daft stuff I come out with, that in the right context, and knowing a bit about it, and knowing, because I've always been often described as misunderstood. Once I know people just start to find some of the stuff I did daft, and I realised that making people laugh made me genuinely happy, and there've been some not so good moments in life, and I started amassing this collection of, before I realised it, of stand-up comedy DVDs and shows, and I realised it was a key thing to help me move on. So comedy is massive, especially when we started working together, and I realised actually in the workplace, we've had some stressy stuff, right? That's the stuff we work in. Yeah. It's not always easy, very rarely, especially with stock takes and overnight rollouts of different things. Humour has broke tension. It's eased the atmosphere. It's brought people together. It's done all sorts. So, a world without humour, a day without humour at work, and that is, it's not the same. And I was just speaking to one of my friends about that, and she was saying how it feels like that's missing in the workplace at the minute. And maybe it's sometimes it takes figuring each other out, knowing where you're coming from, and knowing that what you're saying is a joke, and that you're just trying to wind people up. Like she said, we need to stop giving tools to tools. Now,
I like
that's
that.
brilliant. I said, I'm keeping that. Because I could have said that many times working in IT with all these newfangled toys and applications and phone apps and databases. We need to stop giving those tools to tools because they keep misusing them. So that's brilliant. I'm going to use that. I did one of mine. I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
It's mint, but what about you? Just for me, it's key. I couldn't do without it.
Yeah, I think I thought about this, sort of reflected, and I sort of getting into the early teenage years. I was an ugly child, and I had that many spots and warts on my face. I mean, kids used to get their marker pens out and do dot to dot on my face.
Oh, it's a giraffe.
And and of course the usual bits like pizza face and where's your mozzarella and where's your pepperoni.
I've had the bottles of Oxy. What was it, Oxy 10? That's so,
I need Oxy 50 me, and I worked out that because obviously they used to make fun of you, and the only way to do that was to try and put it back onto them by being funny. So I used to try and make fun of them by being funny and humorous, and I got a reputation for being probably the class clown. Probably that's where I sort of started it, and then of course you find stuff on TV, and I was thinking, I've initially thought of Sid James and the Carry On films was probably my first introduction to slapstick.
Yeah, I was the same. I was a massive fan back in the day of the Carry Ons.
Yeah, so all of that innuendo stuff was just brilliant for me. And then the next level up to that was Eddie Murphy and Raw. So
I remember watching that for the first time. Although I think my next step was probably Python.
I've not done that.
There's a lot of stuff just wouldn't be out there now if not for Monty Python setting a precedent.
Yeah.
And the Fast Show, Scorchio, and all of that, and
it's a flesh wound.
It's a flesh wound. This parrot,
he's not coming out to play. Do you reckon? What was Dumb and Dumber? Do you reckon they stole that in their sketch with the tape the parrot's head back on?
Ooh.
The parakeet's head back on. They must have stole it.
I hadn't thought of that. But yeah, but it has. It's laid the foundation for a lot of that stuff. Like not only but also with Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. There's a couple of clips out on YouTube, but the BBC recorded over the tapes. Now the only reason there's any bits left, this archival footage, is because they sent some episodes to Australia to air over there, and they got lost. Somebody found them and has digitized them, so you can actually watch some of those. Those scenes where they try and get each other to corpse, and you can tell they're just sort of making this stuff up as they go along. They're sat on the park bench, eating their sandwiches and drinking a pint or drinking something, and they're trying to get the other person to laugh, and Dudley Moore's sitting there trying to cram all the sandwich in his face to stop himself from laughing. Some of that stuff's classic, and you have to acknowledge the way where humour is now. To see where it is now, you have to acknowledge some of that stuff from the past. Even people like Jimmy Carr, who studied it He's written books on
Yeah.
comedy and humour and jokes. There's a whole, science and social science behind it. Well, there's some great. I used to love watching the Fast Show as well. This week,
Yeah.
I've been mostly eating Prozac. Or this week, I have mostly followed through.
With what I was going to do.
Oh, it's some of it. Some of it's great. The guy that can't stop coughing, and the other guy who can't stop saying arse. I can't get on with stuff like The Office. You know, that kind of humour that's based around creating a cringy situation. It just makes me too uncomfortable. He said, well, that's what's funny about it. No, but then I feel empathy for the person, so it just makes me deeply uncomfortable to watch. So I just can't find it. I can't find it. I can't laugh at someone in that situation. I cannot. It has to be more random, a bit more random.
So the idea is to, and I guess we've probably worked out, we don't fake laugh, do we? If we find it funny, we'll just bellow, and that's it, and so there's going to be no faking it.
No, I mean, you've seen me more than once on these recordings. You've had a go at a joke in a moment. I've just went no.
Yeah,
like
the one I did last week about you being described as a 9, and the girl,
my ex. From my ex, and you went, I'd give her 1. We didn't do the one I talked about beforehand when I was talking about me tea towels.
Oh, brilliant! Love it.
It was
What's the most popular towel in the world? That is the most popular towel in the world. A teat.
Tea towel.
Yeah.
Aye.
Love it. So today we're not going to deliver, but we are going to do
chicken or beef.
Correct. And I am going to put the sexy in dyslexia.
Yeah, so you're going to see how many laughs versus moans you can get, or groans from me. So apparently,
yes, it is Friday, so we do get a few moans and groans at the weekend.
Me. And apparently, you've prepared a couple of pages of stuff. So,
well, I have some of it. As I said to you, some of it you've heard it before, so you won't laugh, but you'll know it because you've heard it before. And some of them, I'm hoping you might resonate with. I think, in the most part, try to keep a clean. I've just reading the first one, apart from maybe the first one, which is really, really borderline.
Well, I even thought the Barbie doll one was a bit. Am I going to get away with that? I thought, nah. It's the way you tell them. It's the way you tell them.
Should we do a disclaimer first?
If you didn't like a beer of filth, turn it off.
Turn it off.
Turn it off.
If you're not over 15 months old, please switch off now.
Yeah. It's gonna get a bit filthy. Bit of filth.
What was it?
I haven't watched it.
I went with Anita. We went in the body shop just before we actually did, and she was going on about the scented sticks. What they're called? Incest.
Incest.
And I said, they're best kept in the church. And she just looked at me.
Ooh, that's shocking.
And I was just making them up as I went along.
That's shocking. Is that the fact that they're called joss sticks?
Joss sticks,
and they burn incense, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. At the stake.
Aye, at the stake.
Yeah. Mother and
by
daughter.
The organ.
Yeah. Yeah, by the organ. We're just mounting these jokes on top of each other.
Yeah, I'm going to clip them up later on. Put them into little mini clips.
Yeah.
Stick them out there.
And they're all after this week's experience, they're all going under the heading of Chubby Brown.
Oh, couldn't believe that little Chubby Brown joke. I thought, I'll stick it on TikTok. It might be a laugh on TikTok, that with a fur coat and that. The knickers down. Oh, they'll find it funny on there. Nah, 185 views. No one cares. put it on YouTube as a short because it was only 20 seconds long. I thought, shall I? Oh, I don't know. It's a bit risque for YouTube, isn't it? Stuff it. I've seen stuff blowing up in Ukraine on YouTube, dropping grenades and all that. So I'm sure stuff it, bollocks. I'm going to stick it on there. 860 views straight off the bat, and that was within its first couple of hours. It just shot to fame. All these likes coming in, all these views coming in. So what? That's outperformed any other video on the channel. I think the best we'd done was 133 before that. And this just went boom. It's only 20 seconds long, 860 odd views. And it's still still going.
We think we've worked out it's because we included the word Chubby Brown, wasn't it?
Chubby Brown or old jokes. So I know I use YouTube for all kinds of random stuff. I've been watching farriers doing horseshoeing. Now, I deliberately avoided the word hoof. They've been doing horseshoeing, and it's just so hypnotic to watch them. It's like clipping a massive nail. There's something satisfying about it. Yeah. I've been watching that as well as the airplanes and God knows what else I've been going through. Watching people doing scrapbooking, but it's so relaxing just watching someone putting stickers and gluing things in and cutting these things out. I'd sat watching it an hour. I was like, how long have I been on this channel? Jesus, she's just opening all these envelopes and sticking these. I was like, what's fascinating about this? So, people go to YouTube for all sorts. So, with great timing, more jokes. I'll cut them up in the editing later on, and just post. Post them all out and see what happens. Give them different titles.
You're going to have loads of material here. It'd be a good experiment actually to see, when you break them down, which ones do decent and which ones do crap.
Yeah, I'll faff with the names. And see if we can get some keywords in there and see what happens. It'll be fascinating. Yeah. Fascinating.
Shall we kick off? I'll start with it. So is farting in a lift wrong on every level?
You told that one different last time.
I know. I've spruced them out a bit because it's nearly spring. Yeah.
That was a Stu Francis one, that one, wasn't it?
Was it?
You used that one in a meeting. It's just like farting, isn't it? It's wrong on every level. Yeah. Yeah. In a meeting. Important meeting. You've used a few.
Yeah.
I've used a few in some
I know. I think I've used this one as well. I went to Morrison's and bought 8 legs of venison. For 25 quid. Is that too dear?
Too dear. Terrible.
Yeah. This one had us in stitches. Even my wife wanted this one said twice so she could remember it. What do you call a Frenchman with sandals on?
Oh, don't know.
Philippe Philop. God, yeah. Philippe Philop. Oh. I went out with a girl with a lazy eye. It seems she was seeing someone else at the same time.
Yeah, I should stop drinking my tea, shouldn't I? Just stop drinking my tea.
Yeah. I like this one. My wife is so mad at my poor sense of direction, so I packed up my things and write.
What? What?
My wife is so mad at my poor sense of direction, so I packed up my things and I write.
Oh. God. That's awful. And I left. Right.
Yeah. I didn't leave. I went right.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah. Where'd you find a cow with no legs?
Where you left it.
Kaboom!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aye. Yeah. I was debating whether to tell this one.
Go on then.
I was debating whether to tell this one. I'm not sure the right way to tell it. I was actually going to surprise you at the start of the episode, saying, I was out with the ex The ex-girlfriend in the middle of Northumberland Street just starts shouting, "Give it to me, give it to me. I'm so wet, give it to me now." I thought, you can scream all you want, but it's my bloody umbrella. Oh yeah. I thought you'd like that one. You like that one.
What do you call a Mexican who has lost his car? Easy one for you.
Don't know.
Carlos?
Oh, Jesus. Jesus.
What have you got?
I've run out for the time being. I didn't write a load of one-liners. I had a whole bunch of one-liners to write down, but
I'll keep going.
I'll keep going.
I've got loads
Keep
more.
going. I'm gonna.
You like this one? You being a keyboard guy. 4 fonts walk into a bar. The barman says, "Oi, get out of here. We don't want your type in here."
Oh, Christ! I saw that one coming.
Did you? You were the lucky one. You get an exclamation mark hit you. Boom. What did the blanket say as it fell off the bed?
Don't know.
Oh, sheet. Oh,
terrible. It's terrible.
Do you remember the joke I told you about the chiropractor?
No.
It was about a week back.
No, for some reason. Unless a week back. Oh, you're terrible. That is absolutely shocking.
Oh, I love them where you don't get them straight. The 8 legs of venison used to be the one where everybody goes, "Oh yeah, that sounds really cheap, actually." You know.
Aye.
What? This is quite borderline. What do you call a bi person who loves outdoor cooking?
Don't know.
LGBTQ.
LGBTQ. Well, it's politically relevant these days.
It is, yeah. I didn't exclude. I hope I've included all the vegetarians out there because they're really important. Yeah.
My girlfriend asked me if I was having sex behind her back, and I replied, "Well, who did you think it was?"
I went to the zoo and saw a baguette in a cage. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was bred in captivity.
Oh, I want to laugh at that one.
You know the annoying thing for people watching this is when we laugh and it's not even funny. It makes it even more annoying, doesn't it? So here's another diet one. This is especially for my mum. Yeah, because she loves her diets. I lost some weight by wearing bread on my head. It's the new low hat diet. Low hat diet.
I think you needed to practice that one.
I nearly got my words in a muck and fuddle for that one.
Huh?
I said I nearly got my words in a muck and fuddle for that one.
Muck and fuddle. Aye.
Yeah. Let's see if YouTube picks that one up. Yeah.
Aye.
My wife told me to stop doing jokes about flamingos. Yeah. I decided to put my foot down.
I accidentally filled an Escort with diesel and she died.
I like that one. Yeah. That is good. What have I done? What do you call a fish wearing a bow tie?
Don't know.
Sophisticated.
Sophisticated.
Yeah. What do you call a small mum? I think I've wrote that down wrong. A minimum.
A minimum. A minimum. That's quite good.
Yeah. I ran out of toilet paper, so I began using old newspapers. The times are tough. I like this one. I like this is a small slightly longer joke. I called work this morning and whispered, "Sorry, boss, I can't come in today. I got a week off." And he exclaimed, "You have a week off?" And I said, "Really? Thanks, boss. See you next week."
Terrible. Terrible. A Christian friend of mine said that sex between two men is wrong in their eyes. And I said, "You're right. It's supposed to be up the bum." It's a Gary Delaney one. That. He's very good at one-liners, yeah.
Two guys walk into a bar. The third one ducks.
I went to buy a Christmas tree and the guy goes, "So, can you put it up yourself?" I said, "No, I was thinking the living room."
I'm giving my chimney away for free. You could say it's on the house.
Jesus. I think I heard that one in school.
Yeah?
The chimney on the house.
Let's hope it was sixth form at least.
The chimney on the house.
Tequila may not fix your life, but it's worth a shot. Yeah.
I'm going out with an English teacher, which is a bit awkward because she keeps correcting my grammar during sex. She's particularly annoyed at my improper use of the colon. Another Gary Delaney. He's very good.
My landlord says he needs to come and see me about why my gas bill is so high. I said, "No problem. My door's always open."
That's a good one.
That was not bad. Yeah. I like this one. Bit racy for all you religious types. What do you call a book club that's been stuck on the same book for years?
Don't know.
Church.
Nah, I get it.
Let's hear it for protein powder. Way!
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's terrible.
A farmer asked me to round his 68 sheep up. I said, "Sure. 70.
Oh, that almost hurt. That almost hurt. That one.
I actually was going, I even put in brackets, I said, "Sure." I was going to change the word to shear. I said, "Shear, 70. Shear, 70.
Terrible.
What do you call a train carrying bubble gum?
Choo-choo train.
Ah. Oh, you know this one. What do you call a fish with no eye?
Fish.
What do you call a deer with no eye?
No idea.
There you go. Right. Here's a couple of longer ones for you. My German jogger joke.
Oh,
you ready?
Yeah, but I couldn't remember this one anywhere.
So it's winter's morning. This little old lady's walking her dog next to a lake, and she's throwing sticks on the lake, and she throws a stick, and the dog runs on the lake. And unfortunately, the little dog falls through the ice, and she starts screaming. Just then, a German jogger comes running along, and he goes, "Don't worry, lady, I will save your dog." So he strips off, jumps into the ice, smashes through the ice, gets to the dog, brings the dog back, doing this backward funny stroke that he does. Gets it back to the riverbank. Poor dog's not breathing. Yeah. So he starts giving it mouth to mouth. The old pressing on the chest and mouth to mouth with the dog. Just then, the dog splutters back into life and starts yelping. And the old little old lady, overcome with joy, she looks at him. She goes, "That's brilliant, thank you." She says, "You must be a vet." And he went, "Vet lady, I'm soaking."
All of that.
Yeah.
All of that for that.
All of that.
I remember you telling me it the first time. I thought, it was funny at the time.
Yeah.
My grief counsellor died the other day, but he was so good I didn't give a shit. It's another Gary Delaney. Love it. I love his stuff. Really do.
How do you tell the gender of an ant?
Don't know.
You put it in a glass of water. If it sinks, it's a girl ant. If it floats, it's a boy ant.
Oh, Jesus.
How does a computer get drunk?
Don't know.
It takes a screenshot.
This is like
The
Dadfest 2023, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yeah. I don't think we would be getting. We wouldn't be getting many points, would we? The doctor told me I'm going deaf. The news was hard for me to hear. Oh, I said I was going to say take.
As she said, you're going at it too fast.
Yeah. I sneezed all over my toast. I can't believe it's not butter.
Snot butter. I don't know why that's so funny. Snot butter.
Oh, I like this one. What's this? I've run out. So, what's the difference between Dubai and Abu Dhabi?
Don't know.
The people in Dubai don't like the Flintstones, but the people in Abu Dhabi do.
That's just silly. But damn it. That shouldn't be as funny as it is.
I know. So what do you think it is about? What do you think it is about comedy? The bits that make us laugh and the bits that don't make us laugh.
Well, sometimes it's got to be on the edge, or it's an incongruity for me. Sometimes it's a play with words, or it catches you out. Like the couple next door have just made a sex tape. I mean, obviously they don't know that yet. And sometimes it's the way you tell them. It's the way you tell them.
Yeah.
I went to see Frank Carson live. I was in fits. I mean, I was sore by the time it came out. Back in the day, it was just it's the way he does it and the way it gets the crowd going. Sometimes I can watch a stand-up comedian, and I feel it's funny, but I'm not laughing out loud. But the moment I'm sat next to somebody watching the same comedian, I'll laugh out loud, even if I've already heard the joke. You know, because there seems to be a communal thing. The communal thing that goes with
everything you want. Does that tell you everything you want to know about comedy? It's like, in a poll of 100 people, some people will like the joke and some people will think it's terrible, and vice versa. And therefore, some people find it funny and some people find it highly offensive. And that's just the ratio of probability, isn't it?
Yeah, but it can be about your lived experience.
Yeah.
Or if it feels personal, or especially with people like Jimmy Carr, you feel like you shouldn't be laughing at that. But kind of that.
I know.
That's kind of the whole point. That when you laugh at it, like you were saying about some of your regrets, you took all of the weight out of them by making fun of them, by getting your little secateurs, as you were talking about, and cutting these things out and just applying a completely different look to them. And by laughing at it, all of a sudden that thing has no power over you because it's funny.
Yeah. I love the fact that I think as I get older as well, I can take the mick out of myself even more. You become, it's almost like becoming even more vulnerable, that you don't mind laughing at yourself for anything.
Vulnerable, aye, that's another good one.
Yeah.
Like, I went to the meeting of the premature ejaculators this morning. It turns out it's tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. What was it? Was when
You're like this. I took a positive thinking course last night. It was shit.
yeah.
The sex tape one still got me laughing because it's wrong on many levels.
Oh, that's like farting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it Ricky Gervais when he did the Golden Globes that he kept getting invited back? So the fact that he kept getting invited back and he was so close to the knuckle obviously meant, in terms of the audience figures, it was tremendous, didn't it?
Aye, and I sometimes wonder whether the people in the audience knew that he meant every single word of what he said. So while he was joking, he was literally ripping it out of their lifestyle and how they live and how they perceive the world and how great they think they are and how they, essentially sort of love and applaud themselves. And he's trying to get that across. And they're all going, look at this. He's laughing, so I should be laughing. But I bet you some of them out there felt insulted. But they felt, no, I've got to laugh at this. I've got to laugh at this. Oh, we'll bring them back. And he's like, yeah, they're idiots. They're idiots. They didn't realise I was actually telling the truth.
You take it to the opposite extreme because it's a year coming up, isn't it, since Chris Rock and Will Smith. And so Ricky Gervais gets away with all of that comedy. Chris Rock says one thing and ends up with a sort of, I can't remember if it's a right hook or a left hook. But yeah. And when you think about some of the stuff that Ricky Gervais was saying, like, one that always sticks in my mind was when he was talking about Leonardo DiCaprio. He said by the end of this program, his girlfriend might be old enough for him to go out with.
Well, sometimes you have to go to an extreme to make a point. Like, you don't mean it literally, but you're making such an extreme comparison that you're like, it's daft, isn't it? And then you go, he's right. He's right. Chris Rock's got the first ever live streamed Netflix show is coming up. Is it this month? Where it'll actually live stream it within Netflix. Well, do you know, I used to find him funny, and then I realised how much of his material is just the same every time. A bit like Peter Kay. Beyond sort of seeing as one of his first ones, his second one was near identical. Bear in mind, I have a decent memory, and I pay a lot of attention. I thought, well, that's like a different version of that. That's like a different version of that. Sometimes memory spoils it for you, like. But he's due a comeback tour. He's completely selling out. Aye. Because he's got that nostalgia factor, though, hasn't he?
Yeah. I think actually, what was it? The one where he was car share. I actually thought that was really, really good. As a sort of a series, or whether it was two series, but I just find it fascinating. And I tend to probably push the boundaries a little bit further than I should do in the house, to my wife's annoyance. And we've got our daughter and a partner living here, and Connor's like just becoming this replica of my commute. So if anything comes on the TV, or we say any innuendo, he just looks at me now. So he's already caught up,
Yeah, you develop that little bit of shorthand, don't you? The number of times I've been sat in a meeting and I've just looked at you, and somebody said something, and it's it's just that one look, that knowing look, because you think, well, I don't have to say anything because you'll probably flick back a couple of words and go, oh, or you'll have looked at me and I went, yeah, I caught that. Shh, shut up.
Yeah,
shut up.
What's it? I mean, you sort of create some facial expressions. Carson used to always be this.
I'll purse his lips.
Yeah, and that was when somebody said something, you just purse his lips, or as you tend to go, you'll grab your glasses and go, and we all have these little, when we hear them, because we're slightly afraid of saying them unless somebody else will support us.
Although I've sometimes just went in the middle of a meeting.
It's like a semi-bottom burp, isn't it?
Just not being able to. And some people give me hacky looks, and some people go, don't join in, don't join in.
That would be a good T-shirt, that one, wouldn't it? Hacky something.
Hacky.
Yeah. Proper Geordie word, hacky. Yeah, well, that was my repertoire and jokes. I wish I'd done some more now. I thought 2 pages would be enough, but it seemed to run through really quickly. Yeah, never mind. It was what it was.
Yeah, my girlfriend's dog died, so to cheer up, I went out and got an identical one. She was livid. She said, what am I going to do with 2 dead dogs?
That was one I heard this morning, wasn't it? I went to the zoo the other day. All it had in it was 1 dog. It was a Shih Tzu. Well, let's stick on the zoo theme. I've got one. So there's this young kid starts at the zoo, and his first task is to clean out the prize aquarium. And as he's cleaning out the prize aquarium with the scouring powder around the side, getting the algae off, one of the big prize fish comes along and flipping bites him on the finger. So he smacks it with his scouring powder and kills it by mistake. So he grabs a hold of it and he doesn't know what to do. So in a panic, because he's only young, he throws it to the lions. And mid morning, he's in the chimpanzee pen cleaning out the poo with a shovel. And as he's cleaning the poo out with a shovel, one of the chimpanzee comes and nips him on the arse. So he turns around, he hits it with a spade, flipping kills it, doesn't he? In a panic, he doesn't know what to do, so he grabs the carcass of the chimpanzee and throws it to the lions. And then his final task of the day, he's working in the sort of the aviary enclosure. I forget what you call it, but he's dusting the bees, the beehive, the prize beehive, and as he's dusting it, flipping bees start coming out and stinging him. So he smashes it by mistake, and so he again panic, and he decides to he feeds it to the lions. And at the end of the day, a truck pulls up, and out gets this prize new lion that they've got, and he struts down the ramp into the enclosure, and he goes to one of the other lions. He said, "What's it like here?" He says, "Oh, it's not bad." He said, "What's the food like?" He says, "Oh, it's pretty good." He said, "Today we had fish, chimps, and mushy bees."
That's terrible.
Fish, chimps, and mushy bees.
I was going to tell me triplets joke at one point. I remember we were talking about this in the first episode. And I'd eventually tell the joke that got us the job. That got us the job with you.
Yeah. Well, the story goes that we are fond believers that at work you should be having a laugh, and so as part of the interview technique to get to know people, I would take them out of their comfort zone and get them to tell me a joke. So Simon got to tell me a joke the first time I met him, and the joke is about 3 triplets, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember sitting across from me. He'd said, "So, tell us a joke." I was like, "Oh shit! Don't think of dirty jokes. No dirty jokes. All I can think of was dirty jokes." I was like, "Shit." So I even said, "He says, all I can think of is dirty jokes." And like, "Doesn't matter." It's like, "All right." And this joke changes every time I tell it. I'm always tweaking something about it. Ad-libbing a bit.
Yeah.
And it sometimes tends to go wrong when I'm on the spot. Right, but there's this woman pregnant with triplets. She's walking through a very bad part of town, and this car comes howling round the corner. A guy hanging out the window, bang, 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 3 bullets straight in her stomach. She gets rushed to hospital. Doctor takes a look and says, "Look, it's going to be too dangerous if we take him out now. Chances are you might pass them anyway, so we'll just leave him in." So years later, these kids are upstairs getting ready for school. She's putting their packed lunches together. Son number 1 comes fleeing down the stairs, running in the kitchen. Goes, "Mommy, so I just had a poo and a bullet came out." She says, "Don't worry, son, don't worry. Sit down. I'll tell you the story." So the next day, son number 2 is hiding down the stairs, run to the kitchen. She says, my. So I shot a poo and a bullet came out. She says, don't worry, son. Don't worry. Sit down. I'll tell you the story. So the weekend comes around. Playing in their rooms. Son number 3. Fleeing down the stairs. Running to the living room. He goes, my. She goes, I know. You just had a poo. The bullet came out. He went, no. I was wanking and I shot the cat.
Yeah, and that was the joke he told in the interview. Yeah. Well, are we? Well, we're a little bit shorter than we normally are, but that's all right.
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Yeah. What are we up to? I never see the timer now, so I don't know how long we've been going.
Oh, is it not on the bottom of your screen? It's sometimes up in the top corner or on the bottom, is it not?
It used to come on the top, said the actor of the bishop. But now it doesn't.
I guess we've been talking about a couple of ideas, because if you looked at Facebook this morning, not only did we hit 500 over the weekend, we are rather close to 6. So the followers are flying in. What we're going to do with all this popularity? What we're going to do with it when we're famous? Your mum's already famous.
Mum's famous.
Mentioned it on the podcast.
Yeah, Mum's coming down in a couple of weeks for a family do, and she's going to start signing autographs, doing selfies.
Ooh, hey, should get her on as a guest.
Yeah.
Fan zone.
I tell you what, if we got Mum on and she was talking about not Weight Watchers, the other one that's £1 cheaper, the other one. The show would last about 3 days.
Is it Slimming World or something? Slimming World, is that it?
Yeah. It's the same as the other one, just £1 cheaper.
Everybody I know that goes there calls it Fat Club.
Yeah.
Is that not? Yeah. Is that not a bit? No, we all call it that.
I said, it's funny. I said that to Robin as well. I said, we're getting close to sort of talking about having a guest on. She was like, I'll do it. I said, by the way, when you're on, you're talking about your subject. You're doing most of the talking, and we'll just be asking a few poignant questions. So we've got a few, future options there coming in the mist.
There's not worse, is there? Coming in the mist.
I feel a bit of a frosty reception for this video.
See, it's the unintended ones.
We've set him off. That's it. He's like a loaded gun. He's just shot the triplets.
Coming in the mist. That's brilliant.
Yeah, but we've got. I think we talked about next week's episode, because I've been reading a couple of more books recently, and I'm into how you build up habits, both positive and negative, and how you can break them. So the psychology of habits, and I think we might touch on that next week. And then I think we'll be not too long before we've got a few ideas about getting somebody on to sort of share their experiences on something.
Habits. Yeah, I've spoken to a couple of people that fancy coming on, although I haven't actually asked them what they'd want to talk about.
Well, I think that's the thing. If somebody wants to come on, great. I think we want to know what the subject is. What they feel about what the experiences are. But I think the important thing is to understand that the episode is very much about them and about their experience on that subject. So you have to be prepared to sort of dig deep and be prepared to get into the subject. It could be that we've got a subject that might only take sort of 20 minutes and we just add it on to something, or we just play with a few ideas.
Last night I went joyriding for the first time. I can only hope she enjoyed it as much as I did. Joyride.
Back again. Yeah.
The positive thinking course is one of my favourites, though. It was shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are we? So, as part of our growing success, we're we've been talking about doing some T-shirts, and we might we'll have a little competition at some point because we'll get some samples, have a giveaway, get some viewer and watcher listener interaction going with some of my mum's sayings on the front. So I said last week I'd ask my mum's permission to use some of her sayings. Although technically they're all Geordie mum's sayings, right? They're for all Geordie mums and dads, for that matter. I collected some of my dad's sayings. Me and Sarah were talking about these. You put the big light on, so that might have to go on a T-shirt. I'm just a glorified bloody taxi service. Treating this place like a hotel. The number of times I've heard that. And calling it the Facebook. Are you on the Instagram? Aye.
Yeah.
Did Joe?
Are you going to the big Asda?
Aye, I'm going to the big Asda. Did your mum ever speak in French? When he left the door open. Fermez la porte. You're born in a field.
Born in a field, that was it. I like that.
It's because you haven't washed it. So I said, we're thinking about putting some of these things on a T-shirt. Maybe having some giveaways and people can buy them if they want to buy them. Because I mean, you know me, I'm a proper T-shirt fanatic, so I'll definitely have some of them. Just put the Gadgies logo on the top with a thing down the middle. She went, "Is that going to be me Christmas box? Is it?" Christmas box. I said, it might. It might.
Yeah.
Might be for your birthday, because our birthday's just next to Christmas. Give you some ideas. Be me Christmas box. Aye.
What are you getting this for Christmas? Same as last year, different colour. Nout.
Same as last year, different colour. I'm going to try natures. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Right, let's wrap it up.
Aye. So, habits next week.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I'll be doing quite a bit of research on that one. I'm really into a book called Atomic Habits. If anybody gets a chance, I would highly recommend they read it. But I'll be taking some excerpts out of that and sort of giving some real life examples from myself.
Oh yeah.
Of habits that serve me well and habits that don't serve me, and how I sort of broke them and how I built. And then we'll do something called stacking habits as well. How you can stack habits to make them more positive.
Oh, I've never heard that. Never heard that before. I might know it when you say it, but I've never heard it before.
Yeah, we'll save it for next week. I was going to give an example there, but I'll save it for next week.
Well, I've definitely got a few. My life's all about building habits to get myself out of some of my unusual reactions to things. I remember telling you this when I first told you about my diagnosis thing and going through I meant to scan that and send you it so you could have a read of it. And that was all about habits and trying to change one set of automatic behaviours for some others. So there's some benefits, because some people think habits are a dirty word, and it's not always, is it? So it'd be good to explore the difference between the two things that are good and bad. Good and bad. So what are we at? 58 minutes. Gee, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty good. We're under an hour.
Yeah.
We're hitting the target.
Right.
Hitting the target. Right. Well, we'll see you.
Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. We'll put some more news on the T-shirt bits, the merch. It's what podcasters doing it. Merch.
Yeah.
Probably over the weekend or beginning of next week. About the time this podcast comes out on the Monday, I'll put something out on Facebook, put out some examples, and then we'll have to think of a little competition. Like one of them. I don't know. Share this post and we'll pick a name out of a hat, or we might chuck a question in there or something related to something we've talked about. That might be a good one. Put it out on Facebook and see what kind of reaction we get. We'll put a couple up. Give a couple of people a chance to win a T-shirt. And you get to as my dad calls them, T-shirt. And then you can pick which one. Right. So take care, and we'll see you next week.